GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, Montreal. Tonight we'll break down the shocking stabbing in the Ville-Marie district, preview Sunday's CFL showdown between the Tiger Cats and Alouettes, and hear why the Orange Line Metro extension is back on the table. Weather looks mild, traffic easing. Over to you, Emma.
The Piquet Hobby Mega Market runs Saturday and Sunday, located in the Montreal Convention Center's Hall B, offering collectors a chance to trade, buy, and sell.
Admission is free for all attendees, while vendor spaces cost $20 each. Special guest appearances include a renowned card artist unveiling a limited edition series.
Tournament brackets begin at 10 a.m., with a junior division for players under 18, and the grand prize includes a $50,000 collector's binder.
The Piquet Hobby Mega Market opens this weekend at the Convention Center, featuring rare cards, tournaments, and vendor booths. Lots to get to, let's begin. Good evening, Montreal. A 45-year-old man was stabbed this morning in Montreal's downtown Ville-Marie district, police said. The incident occurred on July 25, and emergency responders transported the victim to a nearby hospital. Montreal Police, the Service de Police de la Ville de Montréal, confirmed that the man sustained serious injuries but remains in stable condition and is not in a life-threatening state. Officers are conducting a preliminary investigation and have not released details about a suspect or motive at this time. The stabbing took place in a busy commercial area, prompting a temporary increase in police presence while investigators secure the scene. The 45-year-old male was found with multiple stab wounds near Rue St. Laurent, and paramedics provided first aid before transport to hospital. Investigators are reviewing surveillance footage from nearby businesses. No arrests have been announced. No further injuries were reported.
Tomorrow, the Hamilton Tiger Cats travel to Percival Molson Stadium for a CFL regular season showdown with the Montreal Alouettes. The two clubs opened the campaign against each other nearly 2 months ago, and the rematch gives both squads a chance to settle the early season score. Quarterback Tree Ford will lead the Tiger Cats offense under the bright lights of the historic McGill venue, while the Alouettes look to protect their home turf after a strong start. Fans can expect a fast-paced contest, with both teams eager to improve their standings as the league heads into the second half of its schedule. Ticket holders will find the stadium buzzing with classic Canadian football energy, and the rivalry promises plenty of excitement for anyone tuning in on Sunday. Kickoff is set for early afternoon, and clear skies are forecasted, making for ideal viewing conditions.
5 Montreal police officers have been suspended without pay for a period of 30 to 42 days after a court found they were involved in a 2018 pursuit that left a woman seriously injured. The suspension, ordered by a Quebec court on Tuesday, is part of an ongoing disciplinary process that began after the high-speed chase through several boroughs resulted in the civilian being struck by a police vehicle. The woman, who suffered multiple fractures and a concussion, has since filed a civil claim against the department. Police spokesperson said the department is reviewing its pursuit policies and that the officers will remain on administrative duty while the investigation continues. The court's decision underscores the authorities' focus on accountability in incidents that endanger public safety. The case has drawn attention to police chase protocols across the province.
An updated study released this morning by the Autorité Régionale de Transport Métropolitain says the long-delayed extension of the Orange Line could pull thousands of cars off one of the city's most clogged road corridors. The analysis projects that completing the loop would divert commuters onto rapid transit, easing pressure on the heavily trafficked stretch that links downtown to the eastern boroughs. Officials note the Orange Line has been a focal point of transit planning for years, with previous proposals stalled by funding and construction challenges. The new data revives the conversation, suggesting a tangible impact on daily traffic snarls if the project moves forward. ARTM officials say the findings will be used to shape the next round of regional transport planning and to gauge public support for the expansion.
On Tuesday, meteorological experts confirmed a second tornado touched down in St. Donat, in the Lanaudière region, following the first twister observed a few days earlier in Harrington. The St. Donat vortex caused localized damage to forested areas and a handful of structures, though no injuries have been reported. Officials say the storm was part of a rare brief outbreak that has produced 2 confirmed tornadoes across Quebec within a single week. Emergency crews were dispatched to assess the scene and secure any hazardous debris. The provincial weather agency has urged residents in the affected zones to remain vigilant for lingering strong winds and to follow any further advisories. Authorities continue to monitor atmospheric conditions for any sign of further tornadic activity and will issue updates as needed. This marks an unusual weather pattern for the province, which typically sees only isolated wind events. Later we'll hear why Quebec is pausing AI and automation projects in public service, a move that could reshape jobs. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back. I'm pleased to continue our conversation, and now Emma Leclerc will bring you the local stories shaping our city tonight.
I'm Emma Leclerc. Yesterday, Quebec's Forest Fire Agency, SOPFEU, dispatched 3 water bomber aircraft to British Columbia, joining the province's effort to contain a series of aggressive wildfires. The planes, equipped to drop large volumes of water, took off from Quebec and were routed to the most affected fire zones, where crews have been battling flames for days. Officials said the support aims to bolster aerial suppression capacity as ground teams confront difficult terrain and rapidly spreading blazes. Provincial leaders in British Columbia welcomed the inter-provincial assistance, noting that additional airtime can slow fire growth and protect nearby communities. SOPFEU highlighted the quick mobilization as part of its mandate to cooperate with other jurisdictions during major fire events. Residents in the affected areas are advised to stay alert as conditions remain volatile. Authorities continue to monitor weather patterns that could influence fire behavior in the coming days.
Today, the provincial government announced it is halting all artificial intelligence and automation projects within the public service. Officials said the decision follows a series of pilot programs that ran into serious technical and operational difficulties, including a conversational robot that had been deployed on the Quebec CA website. The pilots, intended to streamline citizen services and reduce administrative workload, encountered glitches that prevented reliable responses and raised concerns about data handling. After reviewing the results, the cabinet concluded the initiatives would not meet performance standards and ordered an immediate stop to further development. Employees who were involved in the tests will shift back to traditional processes while a review of the findings is compiled. The move signals a pause in the province's push toward digital transformation in government services overall.
Today, a private funeral took place for celebrated actor Marc Messier, with his daughter confirming the ceremony was kept low-key in keeping with his wish for privacy. Only close relatives and a few friends attended the chapel service. The service was held in Montreal, and shortly afterward the provincial flag in Quebec City was lowered to half-mast as a formal tribute. The half-mast display follows the province's tradition of honoring distinguished cultural figures. Messier, whose career spanned decades on stage and screen, was widely recognized across the province, yet he consistently shunned public attention in his personal life. The daughter said his insistence on a discreet farewell reflected the values he held dear. Residents will notice the somber flag flying at half-mast across government buildings, a visible sign of the province's respect. The funeral remained closed to the public, honoring the actor's request for an intimate gathering.
Quebec Premier François Legault told reporters early this week that the province remains unsure whether a final settlement on the Churchill Falls hydroelectric project will be reached. Premier Legault cited comments from senior advisor Jean-Pierre Wacam, who said there is no certainty that a definitive agreement on the Churchill Falls power contract will be reached. Negotiations between Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador continue as both governments seek to replace the decades-old arrangement governing the 428-megawatt facility. The talks, now in an advanced stage, are expected to produce a new settlement that could reshape electricity pricing and revenue sharing for both provinces. Stakeholders are watching closely as the early July discussions progress, with officials indicating that any breakthrough will depend on resolving long-standing financial and operational disputes.
Today, the United Kingdom announced a new restriction that bars the sale of energy drinks to anyone under 18, mirroring a policy first adopted by the Quebec government. The move aims to curb health concerns linked to high caffeine and sugar content among teenagers. Quebec's rule, which has been in effect for several years, prohibits retailers from selling these beverages to minors and requires clear labeling. While the British decision follows that precedent, federal officials in Canada have said no comparable measure is being considered at the national level. Health advocates note that the ban could reduce emergency room visits and sleep disturbances among young people. Retailers in both the United Kingdom and Quebec will need to adjust point-of-sale systems, and parents may see fewer high-energy drinks on store shelves. The contrast highlights differing approaches to youth health policy across the two countries.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist, Jane.
A deepening trough over the Great Lakes fuels tonight's slow-moving high pressure, keeping skies clear. On this date, Montreal once sweltered to 31 Celsius in 2020, the peak of a lingering heat wave that pushed the region above 30 for a week. By contrast, the coldest reading fell to 9.1 Celsius in 2013, a freak Arctic surge that blanketed the city in frost despite summer expectations. Normal highs hover around 26 Celsius and lows near 15, so today's 28 feels warm but sits well within the seasonal envelope. Scanning the live radar, the screen is entirely void of echoes across the province. No rain bands or convection are present, confirming the dry air mass that has settled under the high pressure. The northwest jet at about 63 kilometers per hour slices aloft, reinforcing subsidence and keeping moisture locked out. With no precipitation inbound, we shift to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits under a clear sky with 28 Celsius and a light southeast breeze of 7 kilometers per hour, gusting to 18. Humidity is low at 33%, and the dew point rests near 10, reinforcing the dry feel. Pressure is near average but beginning to fall, signaling an unsettled system that will edge closer after midnight. Overhead, the northwest jet streams at roughly 63 kilometers per hour act as a conveyor, ready to usher in cooler air later tonight. The day's high peaked at 30 Celsius, while tonight's low will dip to 17. UV index registers 7. No weather alerts are active. With the atmosphere still holding, we now glance at the 5-day trend. Looking ahead, Sunday will break the weekend with overcast skies and a high of 29 Celsius, while lows settle near 18. Monday brings another overcast stretch, 28 Celsius peak and 19 at night, but a 40% chance of rain will begin to pepper the city. Tuesday remains similar, 29 Celsius by day and 20 at night, with rain odds rising to 45%. Wednesday marks the first real cooling, high dropping to 24 Celsius and lows holding at 18, as the jet stream pushes a moist front delivering light rain and a 60% chance. Thursday stays cool at 24 Celsius, overcast, and a 40% rain risk. The pattern reflects a slow-moving trough feeding repeated moisture into the region. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic picking up downtown. The Red Bull Dance Your Style finals are tonight, and Mistral AI just announced its Montreal hub. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
All major routes are flowing without delay this afternoon. Autoroute 6 runs free from the Descaries interchange to the St. Laurent exit. Boulevard St. Laurent from downtown to the Plateau reports smooth traffic. The Ville-Marie Expressway shows no congestion between Rue Saint-Urbain and Rue Peel. Rue Sherbrooke across the east side is moving at normal speed. No accidents or road closures are reported on the island. Transit lines are operating on schedule, with the Green Line, Orange Line, and commuter trains all running on time. Rain showers are expected to taper off by early evening, leaving dry roads for most of the city. With no incidents, commuters can expect a steady ride through the evening rush. The only thing to watch for is the routine maintenance crew on Rue Notre Dame later this night, which may affect the West End after 10 p.m. Otherwise, the network remains clear, so you can plan your trip with confidence.
J. Cole takes the Bell Center tonight, delivering a night of hip-hop hits that will have the city buzzing from downtown to the Plateau. If you're after kinetic street style, the Red Bull Dance Your Style Canadian National Final rolls into the Village au Pied du Courant, where the best movers battle for a spot at the World Final, a must-see for anyone who loves rhythm and raw talent. Over in Parc La Fontaine, Festival Haiti on Fire celebrates its 20th edition with live bands, an arts fair, and authentic Haitian cuisine, turning the park into a vibrant island oasis you can explore right at home. And looking ahead, the streets will glow again at the Festival Ferté Montreal on July 31, promising a parade, shows, and a citywide celebration of love and diversity. Whatever your vibe, Montreal's summer pulse is right here, right now for you. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest local sports roundup from soccer to the upcoming NHL season. AFC Toronto secured a 2-goal victory over the Montreal Roses on Thursday, with Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter each finding the net in the second half. Goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo recorded 2 saves as Toronto claimed sole possession of third place in the Northern Super League. The 2026-27 NHL season kicks off on September 29, opening with an all-Canadian showdown as the Montreal Canadiens travel to face the Toronto Maple Leafs. The matchup promises a high-profile start to the league's new campaign. CBC Sports Soccer notes that AFC Toronto secured a 2-goal victory over the Montreal Roses on Thursday, with second-half strikes from Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter. Goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo made 2 saves as Toronto moved into sole possession of third place. CBC Sports NHL outlines that the 2026-27 NHL season will tip off on September 29 with 2 all-Canadian opening matchups. The Montreal Canadiens are slated to visit the Toronto Maple Leafs, setting the stage for a classic Canadian showdown to start the campaign. The Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, a move confirmed on June 29 that reshapes Montreal's forward depth and adds a veteran presence to Vancouver's roster as the off-season progresses.
Mistral AI, the French artificial intelligence pioneer, has chosen Montreal for its first Canadian hub, settling in the vibrant Mile End district. The company will open a new office that brings together engineers, researchers, and business developers, aiming to accelerate growth while tapping the city's deep talent pool. Partnering with the renowned Mila Institute, Mistral will focus on open-source, secure AI solutions for large enterprises and public organizations, reinforcing technological sovereignty. The expansion promises new jobs, mentorship programs, and collaboration spaces that will energize the local tech ecosystem. For Montreal, it's a reminder that our neighborhoods continue to attract world-class innovators, keeping the city at the forefront of the digital age. We'll watch this story unfold as Montreal's innovation map expands. Up next, a feel-good story about Quebec's 3 firefighting planes soaring west to aid British Columbia's crews. Stay tuned.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches, no middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
On an October evening along St. Laurent Boulevard, families are gathering for a pop-up showcase that feels more like a neighborhood block party than a sales floor. At the center of the buzz is a sleek electric sedan from a Chinese manufacturer, its silent glide drawing curious eyes from passersby sipping hot chocolate at nearby cafes. Beside the car, a local school's eco-club volunteers hand out leaflets, explaining how the vehicle's zero-emission powertrain adds to Quebec's already impressive fleet of 400,000 electric cars. What began as a tentative entry for overseas automakers has turned into a community conversation about choice, sustainability, and new jobs on the island. One teenager who helped assemble the informational booth shared how the presence of these models will give young drivers more affordable options, while a longtime Montreal driver, after a quick test drive, laughed that the car felt like a whisper on the road, and imagined the quiet it could bring to his nightly commute. Tonight, as lights reflect off the polished hood, the message is clear. A growing market can welcome fresh ideas while keeping the promise of cleaner streets alive for everyone.
On a crisp morning at the St. Laurent Burden stop, commuters gathered as a sleek electric bus slipped silently into view. The SDM has just introduced 4 of these quiet, blue-accented vehicles, and the gentle hum of their motors replaced the usual diesel clatter, prompting a ripple of surprised smiles. A young mother lifted her toddler, who pointed excitedly at the glowing battery indicator, while an older rider nodded, recalling the city's promise of cleaner air. Over the next few weeks, the same route will see these buses glide past familiar streets, and the agency has pledged to add 147 more electric buses to its fleet by 2028. That steady rollout means fewer emissions, quieter evenings, and a public transit system that feels as forward-looking as the neighborhoods it serves. Every morning, the familiar route now greets riders with a cleaner, quieter arrival. And that promise, felt on a single stop, carries us forward together.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us tonight. Tonight's look at the Metro Orange Line extension reminded us how our city keeps moving forward. I'm Mark Beaumont, and I hope you'll tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community. Until then, stay safe and keep looking west.